Hi, I'm Nancy O'Neill. Today on Suncoast FYI, Executive Director Shelley Thayer and Communications Specialist Nicole Drone from Cat Depot return this month with 2 more furry friends looking for a forever home. Photographer Wayne Eastep joins us to talk about his art and travels. Farm manager Christa Leonard from Geraldson Community Farm have us meet 2 goats involved in a new exercise craze, and FPL spokesperson Florencia Contesse visits to talk about saving on your energy bill this summer. All next on Suncoast FYI. Cat Depot's Executive Director Shelley Thayer is back today with Communications Specialist Nicole Drone to introduce us to some more of their lovely furry friends looking for a forever home. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Hi. Who did you bring with you today?
Well, today I have Georgette, and Nicole here has Paul.
And Paul?
Yes, Paul. And they are brother and sister. They're siblings, and they came into the shelter off the streets of Sarasota. They had 4 in their litter to have been adopted, and these 2 are still available.
Okay. And well, tell us a little bit more about not only them, but how many other kittens or cats do you have available right now?
Well, we have a variety of kittens available at the shelter right now. We have about 75 in foster care waiting to come in, and we have probably about 15 on the floor. We have every color, I think, that is available in nature, and wonderful personalities. And these 2, as you see, would be great to go together because they just love each other, and it makes it kind of easy sometimes to adopt too.
Now, tell us a little bit more about that, Nicole. What do you recommend adopting 2 kitties together if you can? I mean, a lot of people can't, but
so if you can adopt 2 together, it's really great because they socialize each other. Single cat households can sometimes have issues with biting, playing with your hands, and not being able to train them properly. They feed off each other, so they'll teach each other when they've hit their max and they've hit their limit, when that's too hard of a bite, that's too much rough play. So they really socialize each other. They can, if you work during the day, they have each other to play with, but not your furniture. And they're generally just happier overall.
Oh, sure, to have somebody to play with, you know, all day, because they are so active normally. They're behaving. They're really, really being very, very good kitties. What kind of advice would you give to new parents?
Well, there's actually Nicole's great at this because she has a lot of tips, I think, on what you need to do to prepare to have a little kitten in your household.
So it's just like childproofing your home.
Yes.
Kittens will get into anything and everything. They'll pull up in your trash. They'll dig stuff out of there. So when you throw things away, you really need to make sure you do it in a way that the kittens can't get a hold of it and choke on it. Make sure that you don't have a lot of places where they can hide and get stuck or get lost. I would also recommend making sure that you don't leave your fridge open for too long, or the washer or the dryer, because they can jump in. So it's pretty much just like having a toddler around the house.
And that's it. They do. And so you have to think of it like having a child.
Yes.
Okay.
Anything they can get into, they will.
Ribbons, dental floss, things that would be really harmful to them and we take for granted. So we kind of bury them in the trash so that they can't get to them.
I've seen some of the webcams, you know, where they watch them, how creative they are, and get out and get into things. So you just have to be mindful of that. So, okay, so when somebody comes to Cat Depot, what is the adoption process that you offer?
Thanks for asking. Well, we have a wonderful package because these 2 little kids are 8 weeks old, and so they've had their vaccines, they've got their microchip, they've been spayed and neutered, they've been seen by a veterinarian for overall health, and so they really are prepared to go into a home, but it's still not enough. They have vaccines that they need to get up until 16 weeks. So when you adopt one of these kitties, I think the other one's coming over to see me, they come back with their adoption fee. They come back sometimes 2 or 3 times to get their final vaccines. And then at 16 weeks, they get their rabies, which is a required vaccine for them. And so it really sets them up with a wonderful foundation for life to be a healthy adult. So it's a great
And what
package.
is the cost of the adoption package?
That
Shelley?
cost is an easy $100, which really doesn't cover all our expenses, but it's wonderful because otherwise they'd have to go back to a veterinarian after
that
their
would be
adoption
more
a couple more
expensive.
times. Yeah.
Yep.
So it really is a good bargain that they're getting all these things, plus their microchip, of course, which is really critical to their care.
Now, these two would just
They love
love
each
to go
other.
home together.
I
Just
think they
love to
would,
go home
honestly. Like, they
together.
get
Oh, my
along
goodness.
so well. He obviously just decided they needed to be together, and they really play well together.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, they're a great pair.
Now, you always have events coming up.
So coming up in September 19th and 20th is our Help Me Out Matching Gift Challenge. We have been blessed with 2 donors who have decided to match all donations over $25. We have the potential to raise $300,000. So if we
That's
hit
awesome.
150, they will match 150, which is great because it just allows us to keep taking in more cats and kittens and providing education and just further helping the community.
Okay, so that's an online. people
Online
can go.
24-hour giving fund, and you can start your pledges now. Go to our website and you can find more information on how to do that.
And how can the community support all of the kittens and cats that you have in your care?
That's a good question. Well, one thing, like with these two, we need fosters. This will be our 5th season for Sarasota County to save all the kittens from being euthanized for lack of space, and we're working on it. We have over 75 in foster care right now, and that makes it possible. And then we need adopters, and of course, we always need volunteers, and we need donors. So all those things combined make for a happy success story here in Sarasota County.
Okay, thank you. Anything that you'd like to add before we close today?
These two would like to go home.
and we've had some very successful adoption stories,
Yes,
right?
so far every cat or kitten who we brought on this show has been adopted within the next 2 weeks. And even Chong, who we brought, he was our 15-year-old cat.
kitty.
He was adopted about a week
That's
later
wonderful.
and found a wonderful home. And we're hoping that these two, as a result of being on this show, Nancy, will also find a loving home.
Well, let's keep up our 100% adoption rate. So
Thank you.
please go take these little adorable kitties home with you. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you for having
you.
us.
Coming up next on Suncoast FYI, we talk to local photographer Wayne Eastep, who has traveled the world taking photos for companies like National Geographic. So please stay tuned. Local documentary and fine art photographer Wayne Eastep joins us in the studio today to discuss his art gallery and new studio location. Welcome to the show, Wayne.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
This is exciting because I know that you've just opened up a new studio. Where?
It's on the edge of the Rosemary District, 1338 Central Avenue.
Okay.
It's both a gallery as well as a photography studio. The gallery is showcasing images of coastal life and places along the Gulf Coast of Mexico.
Okay. So your photography now is focused on this area of the country, because I know you do so much internationally, and obviously National Geographic. We all have heard of National Geographic.
Yes.
So the photographs are used in your studio now, and how else?
Well, there's a gallery in the studio so that people can come and see them.
Okay.
There's also a large screen, and they have access to my entire image library, so they can look at them there. And then I have samples of every way that a photograph can be printed. So if a person doesn't understand what will this look like if it's printed on canvas or metal or fine art paper, I've got samples to show them. So they can come see those. They can also look at the images on my website at estepphotography.com.
Okay. When you say all of the different ways that you can use your photography, so if somebody wanted to have like a wall mural done, for example,
Yes.
you could actually give them what that would look like on that scale.
That's
Right.
right. I have some that are printed very large, as well as conventional sizes of like 11 by 14 or 16 by 20. But I also have some that are 8 feet long or tall, so they can get a sense of the scale as well as the different surfaces.
Now, if they have a particular genre that they're interested in, will you go out and custom take photographs as well for them to use in their home or residence or businesses?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
The characteristic of the work that I've done throughout my whole career up until now has been to shoot on location. And by location, I mean 125 countries around the world. So a custom service is part of what I'm offering as well. So if a person says, you know, I love this place or this area, can you go and create an image for me?
Amazing.
Yes, I can do that
Awesome.
on commission.
Okay. So what other special offers or things do you give to your clients when they come see you?
I also advise them about ways that images can be used, because images have a lot of different potential.
Yeah.
For example, I have a large mural. Right now it's 10 feet wide, 4 feet tall, that has been printed, and it's being installed at the Cape Coral Cancer Center.
Oh.
So images can be used therapeutically. They can be used to enhance a corporate identity. I did the Princess Cruise Line headquarters, and they used about 28 of my images. Each of the people in their company got to choose their own images. Some of the people have very high stress jobs, and they chose images that help calm them down. So that's one of the things that I can do, is advise people about how to select images or how to install images to enhance either their home or their corporate culture.
Now, would you say this is what sets you apart and makes your photography unique?
Well, I think the thing that is unique about my work is that I try to go inside the subject. So rather than just taking a picture of a subject, I really concentrate on what is important about the subject that I'm looking at. So it has sort of that X factor of an energetic connection to the subject. The other thing is that I have been commissioned by people and by companies, mostly multinational Fortune 50 companies, to tell their story. So telling a story is the unique characteristic of my imagery, of what I do. So if I were to photograph a subject that someone likes, I would try to capture what it is that attracted them to that subject.
Okay. What projects have you recently photographed that you would like to share with us?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I was in Washington, D.C., and the Key Corral from here in Sarasota was performing as part of the annual Folk Life Festival that the Smithsonian puts on. They performed with a full orchestra and professional circus performers. It was a performance called Cirque du Voix. The studio has been set up to do full service photography, meaning portraiture or advertising illustration. So there's one studio, there are two studios, one that is designed for that portraiture function. The second studio is set up to do still life or product photography. So a company can come to me, and what I will be able to do with the talent that I have, because the history of my advertising work is what is called branding. So I built the brand for Nautica and for GE Monogram. I also did the rebranding for UPS, United Technologies, AT&T, just to mention a few.
Okay.
So telling a company's story or a person's story is what the studio will do.
Okay, awesome. Please tell us again your website so we can all go find you.
It's my last name, E-A-S-T-E-P, Eastep. So it's estepphotography.com, and the studio is on 1338 Central Avenue in Sarasota.
Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure having you here, and I hope you'll be having some openings that we can share with our viewers as well coming up.
Yes, from every few months I'll have an opening in the studio.
Great.
And then people can contact me by appointment to come and see whenever they would like to.
Great. Thank you so much, Wayne.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Coming up next on Suncoast FYI, we have some four-legged creatures in the studio who are involved in a new exercise craze, so please stay tuned. Farm manager Christa Leonard joins us from the Geraldson Community Farm with Arlo and Cricket, two of the goats that participate in the new exercise craze, goat yoga. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate
And this
it.
is Christa, right, that's sitting?
No, I'm Krista. This is Cricket. It's close, it's close. And then this is little Arlo.
Okay. Welcome
Believe
to the
me,
show.
you mix up names all the time.
Well, can you tell us a little bit about how did goat yoga come about, Christa?
Well, goat yoga has kind of taken off all over the country. I was reading an article about it, and there was some crazy story about how there was a 650-person wait list, and I believe that was in Oregon, and a woman had started doing it just as a therapeutic activity when she was diagnosed with an immune deficiency disorder.
Yeah.
And so we have access to goats, so we were like, oh, we could do this. And I mean, anything with goats is fun.
Oh
so.
my gosh, I mean, they're so calm and gentle. I mean, this is just relaxing.
It's therapeutic, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I mean, everybody has a smile on their face, and so that's kind of what we were hoping to bring. And
So how long have you been having the classes now?
we've had them for a few months.
Uh-huh.
For us, it's a fundraiser. And we're a 501c3 at the community farm. And so for us, this kind of gives us an opportunity to do something really fun for the public, but it also raises money for us in the summer when we don't have vegetables to sell.
So how often do the classes actually take place?
We started out once a month, and now we're doing them twice a month. They sell out really fast. So our next one that we have available is August 6th,
Oh
and I
my
believe we're already
goodness,
halfway sold
yeah.
out for that one.
Okay.
And then we will have another one later in August.
Okay. And how many people do you have in a class typically?
Between 25 and 30.
Okay, and you have a yoga instructor.
We do.
So
we
it's
work
not
with-
the goats, don't do it.
Yeah, you take it from the goat. No, oh! She's
See?
yes, we work
Yes,
with
we do.
Seva Yoga and St. Pete. They come out, and there's 3 instructors that kind of rotate and come out to each of the events.
Tell us a little bit more. How do you interact with the goats while you're taking class?
Well, it's not really about you interacting with the goats. It's about letting the goats interact with you. You're doing your thing and doing yoga, and it's really interesting because they, when they're this small, they're more bouncy and
Yeah.
they jump on people. But then goats grow really fast.
Yeah.
So these guys are about a month old, and after that, they're more just like interacting and wanting to be pet because they don't stay babies very long.
Right,
Yeah. So like in another few weeks, these guys will be big.
And what are the benefits to people that come and do this, Christa?
I think that people kind of live their lives where they're working in offices, they're in their cars all the time, and so to get them out to a farm, first of all, it's therapeutic in a sense to do that. But the goats, we find that people leave with a smile on their face.
Oh my
So you
gosh, how could you not?
can't really, I mean, I walked into the building today and people just lit up, you know, and so that's kind of the power that goats have. And so we just find that everybody leaves happy, and that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
I would say that that is a definite therapeutic benefit.
Okay. Now, you have a lot of other things going on at the farm as well. Every other week, every other month rather, on Fridays, there's a farmer's market or a...
Yes, well, during season, we do multiple festivals. We had been doing craft markets at Darwin's, but we actually just handed that over to Darwin's. We're kind of just focusing more on having activities at the farm. So because we are a nonprofit, all of these community events go into making the farm viable.
Right,
And so
right.
we do a Christmas festival, a fall festival, a spring festival. Not only that, we do monthly farm to table dinners.
And what is that?
Dinner Bell Supper Club is what it's called, and we invite chefs out and we cook outside, and we also have volunteers that can work in exchange for their dinner. So it's a family style dinner around a bonfire, and it's out, and we also have donkeys at the farm, so you're right next to the donkeys and they're braying as you're
Okay,
eating.
yeah.
So we have that as well.
Okay. We'll go back to the yoga for a second. So how long are the classes?
They're typically, so the way that it goes is you arrive and everybody excited and gets started, and then we do like a 15-minute warm-up. And then the classes usually range between 30 and 40 minutes, and then after that you have about half an hour to take pictures and play with the goats and feed them when they're this little.
Wonderful. Oh, and they are so sweet. So where can our viewers go to find out how to take part in this?
Sure. Well, we sell our tickets on Eventbrite. If you go on Eventbrite, you can type in Goat Yoga Bradenton, and it'll come up. And then you can also go on our Facebook page. That's where we mainly update a lot of our stuff because super user friendly,
Yeah,
and I'm not a
absolutely.
web person.
Yeah.
So I update often on there. So, and that has a link. So if you go to Geraldson Community Farm on Facebook, you can find all of those.
Awesome.
Or if you type in goat yoga in the area, it'll come up.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be seeing you soon because this has just been such a wonderful
Yeah,
experience.
she likes you.
Thank you so much for bringing them with you.
Thank you.
And
We appreciate you having us.
Oh, it's awesome. Thank you, dear. With summer's rising heat also come the rising energy bills. Coming up next on Suncoast FYI, we talk to a spokesperson from FPL who has some great tips on how you can cut down on your energy usage. So please stay tuned. Our final guest this week is Florencia Contesse, a spokesperson for the Florida Power and Light Company. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Oh, this is my pleasure. I mean, we all want to know what can we do to save more energy, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's the big question.
That's the big question, absolutely. So at FPL, we have a number of great tips and recommendations for our customers to really become energy experts this summer and save energy and money. The number one driver of our bills throughout the year, but mainly in the summer, is our AC. We're in Florida, it's extremely warm outside, and so our AC is having to run longer to keep us and our homes, of course, cool.
Right.
The AC can actually represent up to 50% or more of your bill, so it's quite significant. So we have a couple of recommendations on how to keep those costs low.
Okay, and they would be.
So the first one, really important, is the temperature of your air conditioning.
Sure.
So you want to keep it at 78 degrees when you're home and 80 to 81, 82 degrees if you're going to be away from home.
Okay.
Now, we realize that may be a little bit warm for some.
It is.
But I do want to remind our customers that for every degree that they raise the thermostat to their comfort level,
Yes.
they could be saving up to 5% on their monthly cooling costs. So it really does add up. So you can bump it up just a couple of degrees and
Yeah.
see the savings.
Okay, and what would be another one that we could?
Well, smart technology. Smart
Yes.
technology is all over. It's in our lives every day.
Okay.
And it's great for energy efficiency as well.
Okay, you've
So
got
the
some-
first prop I have here is actually a smart thermostat. These smart thermostats are wonderful because you can actually put them up or lower them directly from your smartphone on the go, even when you're not home. A lot of folks complain, oh, when I get home, if I've put the air up, it's really warm and it takes a while to cool down.
Right.
Well, what better way than to do it from your smartphone, even when you're not home, so that you come home to a cooler home while still saving.
Okay, so, and you have something that, a new app that you can tell us about how those work with one another.
So in addition to a smart thermostat, which has its own app, FPL is really excited. We just launched our new mobile app. So I encourage all of our customers to download it. It's free, and it has a lot of neat features that can help you really become an energy expert this summer. First of all, you can view and pay your bill, which is very convenient, on the go, just with a couple of taps. And in addition, we have a really neat feature, which is our projected bill feature. So you can actually see what your bill is at this point in time, as well as what your projected bill will be when it comes at the end of the month. And what better way than to see, oh, maybe I don't like that number so much. Maybe there's some things I can do around my home to keep those costs down. So really take control of your energy usage. And something else that we don't or do think about sometimes is lights.
Yes.
And so a couple of recommendations on lights is, for example, to use LED light bulbs instead of incandescent light bulbs. They're actually up to 90% more efficient. They last up to 10 times longer.
Yep.
And they come these days in all of the regular colors that incandescent light bulbs come in, and you're really seeing the savings.
Yeah, and they are more expensive, but in the long run, they're a
Yes.
much better value.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then with our lights and with other appliances, there's also these really neat smart plugs. And what these allow you to do, and again, you can pick these up at your local store, is to remotely from your smartphone turn off or turn on the switch so that you can turn, for example, lights on or off even when you're not home.
Wow.
Or let's say you're grilling outside, having a fun time with family and friends. You don't want to go inside and turn off lights or turn things on. You can do it right from your phone. So
Love it.
all this technology is wonderful for
Love it.
energy savings.
Okay. And filters, obviously. We need
Filters.
to change them on a regular basis. How often should we do
Yes,
that?
absolutely. So we forget about filters because they're behind the door and we kind of, out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
But it's really important because they're almost like the lungs for our air conditioning unit, right?
Mm-hmm.
We want to make sure that we keep them clean. Some of them are disposable, others you can wash, and you should be doing that regularly, about once a month.
Okay. Where can our viewers go to find out more about that and all of the products we talked about?
Sure. So for more tips and recommendations on how to save energy and money this summer,
Yeah.
they can go to fpl.com/easy to save. And for more information on our solar programs, those are also available on our website, fpl.com.
Okay. And
The new mobile app. The
New
new mobile app
mobile
is
app.
available in the Google Play or App Stores for iPhone or Android, and it's completely free. And I really encourage everyone to take advantage of it.
And all of that information will be on there as well.
Absolutely. All the information about their usage. They can compare their usage over the course of the last couple of days, even up to a year. What was my energy consumption a year ago and how does it compare to it today?
Okay.
So a lot of neat features that they can use to take control of their energy usage.
Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate all your help.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Suncoast FYI. We'll return after a short break. Coming up this week on the Suncoast, this is the last weekend to see Incredibello at the Oslo Theater. The last shows are tomorrow, July 29th at 2 and 5 p.m. To get tickets, visit ringling.org under events. Crawley Museum and Nature Center will host a course on fire starting without matches this Saturday at 10 a.m. Comedian Pat Goodwin will be performing at McCurdy's Comedy Theater through July 30th. Visit mccurdy'scomedy.com for tickets. If you would like to promote your community event on Suncoast FYI, we would love to hear from you. Just call us at 941-361-4639. To view previous episodes, go to snntv.com under programming. I'm Nancy O'Neill, and we'll see you next Friday on Suncoast FYI.